Alright guys, so it's the review of the Berny AM126M. So I'm not going to go over the packaging because it's the same as you've seen before with previous Bernys. So we're going to get right down into this one. So right off the bat you can tell we've got a PVD coated version here. If you're not keen on this though, they do actually do normal stainless steel ones as well. Link will be down in the description as always if you want to check it out, see the different ones they have. I went with this one just because it's something a little bit different. I don't think I've actually checked out a PVD code watch on the channel before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also, I did like this orange accent on the bezel and on the hand as well. Again, something a little bit different. You don't see orange all that often. So I thought it'd be a good one to check out. But before we go into any more detail on this, let's go over the dimensions first. So we've got a diameter of 40.5, thickness of 13, lug width of 20, and the lug to lug, this is a bit of an interesting one. So it's actually 47.9. You can see there, we have actually got male end links, but it is something a little bit different. They are actually pretty much flush with the case because they drop down pretty much straight away. You do actually make a point of talking about this on their listing. I think they call it a 2-in-1 link, but it is basically just a male end link. It is just dropping straight down. So it does only add a few mil really. So I've measured it from end link to end link. That's coming in at about 50 mil. So that should still be fine for 7-inch wrists. But let's go to zoom in on this dial and talk about this. You can see we've actually got some interesting bits going on here. I do like those black centre sections on those hands, so it almost looks to look like they're floating. Blends in with the dial quite nicely. And as I said before, we've got that orange minute hand. And when it comes to the indices, you can also see on this particular one, we've got like a photina on it. So I know that's going to put some people off straight away. But I think it kind of works with this because it goes with the orange. But let me know what you think. I also like as well, we've got the truncated indice at 3. Despite having the date window there, it's not always the case. Especially with AliExpress watches, so I do appreciate that. And then we've got the Berny branding at the top. Automatic, it does actually say dive is 200 metre at the bottom, which obviously it probably won't be. Ideally it should just say 200 metres, but it is what it is. But let's go to zoom back out and talk about the rest. When it comes to the case and the bracelet, as I said before, it is PVD coated. And these are all individual links as well on the bracelet, so plenty of articulation, so it's really comfortable on wrist. Just push pins. And then when it comes to the clasp, you probably recognise this. It's the Rolex style clasp. And we have actually got on the fly adjustment with it as well. Does work well. So sizing won't be an issue at all. So you can see we've got stainless steel, Sapphire, automatic, 200 metres, then the Berny in the centre, and it's a screw down case back. So let's test if it is actually sapphire crystal. Using the trusty diamond selector 2. And yep, we have got sapphire crystal. So it's always good to see, especially on AliExpress watches. You don't always know if that's going to be the case. So quickly getting back to this bezel. It is actually a ceramic bezel, even on this PVD version. So that is nice. And quickly show you in action. Actually a 90 click bezel. Isn't my favourite, but it's fairly solid. There's a tiny bit of backplay there, as you can see. The action is fairly light. I would have preferred it was a little bit tighter, but when it comes to alignment, it is nicely aligned, so no issues there. So now let's check out what the Lume's like on this. So already you can see we've got quite a bit there already, but let's charge it up, give it a fair chance. And there we go. So really impressive Lume on this one. Especially, I was pleasantly surprised with that orange. I was not expecting that to glow very well at all, because I don't think I've seen orange lume on another watch I've reviewed, so I wasn't sure how bright it was going to be, but this is really, really good. So we've got that orange on that first quarter section of the bezel, on that minute hand. I think the other part of the bezel is BGW9, or at least it's got a similar colour to it anyway. And then with the hour hand, second hand, and the indices, that's more of a C3, but I don't think it actually is C3. I think it might be similar lume to what Pagani Design use, because it does fade a little bit quicker than the bezel, unfortunately. Only slightly, but it will fade before, and it's just not as bright initially either. It's by no means bad lume. It's still pretty good, as you can see, no patchiness at all. But as I say, the indices do fade a little bit quicker. But as you've come to expect with Berny watches, if you've checked out any of my other reviews from Berny's, they're normally pretty good on lume, as you can probably see with this one down here glowing away in the background. I'll leave a link to that if you want to check it out, if you haven't seen that one already. But again, Berny are doing pretty well with the lume. So when it comes to the movement on this, you probably already guessed, yep, it's an NH35, so I'll quickly show you that in action. We've got screw down crown, which is unsigned. Pop that out once, and then we can change the date. Pop that again, second hand stops, you got hacking, and obviously just change the time. Pop it back in, second hand re-engages, and winding, all working well, no issues at all. So, all it's left to do now is show you what it's like on wrist, and then we'll wrap this up. So, this is what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. And it wears pretty much as you'd expect from a kind of sub-style Homage. That kind of flat case, so not a lot of curvature there. But as I said, these interesting male, folded, kind of turned down end links do conform to wrist nicely. So it basically wears, more or less, like a female end link one. It's an interesting design, not something I've seen before. If you have seen anything like that before, let me know down in the comments. But as I say, I haven't. I think this might be the first one to try it. Do you think it works? Or would you rather just have the female end links? One thing to mention, it does leave this slightly odd kind of crease in the middle with the way it's done, due to the design of it. So I guess that could be an issue, but when you're wearing it, you don't really notice, to be honest. Just something to be aware of, though. But I do really like this orange and black. I think it works well. Again, Photina, I think it does affect the lume slightly. Would have preferred it if it didn't have it, but I can get why they have, because it goes with the orange and black design. But it has definitely affected the lume on the indices a little bit. But otherwise, really impressive lume overall. And I do like that orange, really impressed with that. Was pleasantly surprised, thought that wasn't going to be very good at all. And then, because you've got this glide lock style clasp, sizing is not an issue at all. You'll get the perfect fit. So that's always good. On the fly adjustment, it's just something that's really good on watches. If it was up to me, I'd have it on all my watches. So if you're interested in picking one of these up, links will be down in the description as always. But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.